How to find the right personal injury lawyer. To increase the odds of successful litigation of your injury case, you need preparation, planning, persistence, and a competent attorney. Recruiting the right individual to handle your legal case may seem daunting, but our tips will help you ferret out the best personal injury lawyer out there. Whether you have been injured in an auto accident or having trouble after a workplace accident, you want to make sure the attorney is well versed in your case type. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. I'm doing fantastic today. I hope you are doing marvelous. If you're doing as marvelous as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. Today I want to talk to you about how to find the right personal injury lawyer. Number one, ask around for a referral. It's very important. You want to ask friends and family to refer their injury lawyer to you, right? Because, we live in a society where, people have reviews on the internet. People constantly want to search things, but word of mouth is not going away. The best way to find a good personal injury lawyer is to ask friends and family, right? And, you want an attorney who has represented some of those people in the past, so they have experience with them, right? Now, you can also ask someone in your congregation, right? In your synagogue, in your church, in your mosque, in your temple. It doesn't really matter. What really matters here is you want to reach out to people who are reputable in your community and ask them for referrals. Now, if you're not living in a place where you have this sort of support system around you, or a circle of mentors or coaches, or a circle of people around you, go online. Yes. You can also Google, you can use Facebook, you can use attorney directories. Those are also good. And, use online reviews. Yes. Because even though originally I was saying that it's better to talk to someone face to face, if you don't have access to that system, go with online reviews, because in a way, online reviews are the new word of mouth, right? And the good thing here is that you might have access to a larger catalog of reviews, than if you had to talk to a few people around you. All right. Now, you want to basically, this is very important, stay away from those lawyers advertising on TV. Now, I'm not saying that they're bad or they're all bad, but there is very little regulation when it comes to personal injury lawyers advertising everywhere from TV to the web, right? So the best way to find a personal injury lawyer is to talk to people you trust who have had a positive experience, right? So you want to get word. My central point here is to get word of mouth. Get a word of mouth from community leaders, but also from a trusted professional. I'm talking a doctor, an accountant, or even a neighbor. That's what you want, right? Now, number two, discuss fees before signing. Always. You always want to talk about money before signing anything, right? It's important and you want to talk about those fees up front, because we live in a world where transparency is more than critical and in any significant financial transaction. And that includes your lawyer, right? So remember, you discuss the fee, you agree, and get the fee agreement in writing. Very important. Now, personal injury lawyers normally work on contingency. In other words, they are comfortable receiving approximately 30 to 40% of the eventual settlement or judgment, plus, of course, office expenses. Regardless, you want to clarify what the lawyer means when he or she says no fee if no recovery, because again, you're dealing with a lawyer, so you want to make sure that the language he's using, the language he or she is using, sounds the same way to you, right? You want to understand those things from the start. Number three, you can research lawyers online. Now, to research lawyers online, you have to go with keywords. You have to use specific keywords that relate to your case, right? You don't just go on the internet and start typing personal injury lawyer. No. If you had an auto accident, if you have a car accident, put personal injury lawyer, car accident, living in I don't know, New York, or living in Trenton, New Jersey, for instance, right? Now, make sure the lawyers that you're searching for are licensed and they are in good standing with in the states where the accident occurred, right? Because you have to understand that every state has its own local bar association, and all attorneys are registered in their databases. So you can check the bar status, and you can check whether they have been sanctioned or if any disciplinary measures have been leveled against them, right? And another thing you want to also, if you want to be upfront with the lawyer, ask them, for instance, if they have ever been suspended, and if yes, when or why, right? Don't be scared about asking difficult questions, right? The bottom line is, if you are going to entrust your case and your life in certain cases to a lawyer, you better know exactly beforehand whom you're talking to, right? Talk to the attorney before you hire him or her. All right, I'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere. The next thing you want to do is you want to always trust your gut. You want to trust your gut. Like you really want to you want to look at the person, and after doing the review, after doing the analysis of their past, you want to trust your gut. How do you feel with him or her? How's the vibe when you talk on the phone, when you have a conversation, face-to-face conversation? How do you feel, right? The lawyer should also be real and honest after the weaker parts of the case up front, instead of playing up the strength of the case. What I'm trying to say here is that trust and confidence and comfort, all these things go both ways, right? While you're telling you are very honest with your clients from the get-go, with your lawyer from the get-go, he or she must also tell you where he or she thinks you're strong and where you are weak as far as your case. Number 5, get a real understanding of the attorney's training and experience, right? So you want to find out the extent of his or her training as well as legal experience, right? So you can ask questions like, how long have you been practicing? Of course, this will happen after you have read everything on their website and ask for reviews, right? Then now you're basically interviewing your attorney. Again, you're the one paying him or her, so you want to get as much info from the get-go, right? So how long have you been practicing? What percentage of your cases involves maybe auto accidents or slip and fall? And you also want to ask something like, who will handle my case, you or an associate, right? So the thing here is that you want to make sure the lawyer you're talking to is the one who's gonna represent you, right? So the thing here, unfortunately, a lot of those lawyers who advertise on TV, they run countless TV commercials saying they'll fight for you. Honestly, and this is a little secret in the legal community, most of these lawyers, they've never tried a case, and they simply refer everything out to the real litigators. So this is important. And now I'm talking about point number 6, about you want to ask who will handle your case. If you are paying a lawyer, you want to make sure that he or she is working on your case. And because, if they're charging you $200 or $300 an hour, and then having an associate or a junior lawyer who was maybe charging $50 an hour handle your case, you're losing twice. Not only you're losing financially, but you might be losing legally too, because the strength of the case wouldn't be as high as if it had been handled by a senior lawyer, right? Another thing is that you want to make sure if that lawyer is not accessible to you. In other words, if they can't take 5 minutes out of their day to talk to you personally, rather than having a secretary, paralegal, or intake person do all the talking, then what kind of attention do you think he or she is going to give to work in your case, right? Those are little things you have to pay attention to. If someone doesn't have time for you, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and this is the person who is supposed to defend you in court. So those are things you need to pay attention to when it comes to finding the right personal injury lawyer. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. I'm very happy to have you here, and just want to continue the conversation we're having about how to find the right personal injury lawyer. If you like the content's clarity and quality so far, please consider subscribing to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you can be informed in real time whenever we release a new show. And we do this every single day, rain or shine. Now, here are a few questions to ask a personal injury lawyer. I think I've given you some of them before, but now I just want to give you a quick roundup of questions you can ask. What are your fees? As I said before, most personal injury lawyers work on a contingency fee. I got it. So their contingency is basically a 30 to 40% of the fees of the damages, of the money damages in your lawsuit, right? Now, another question you can ask is, if I lose, will I be responsible for any case-related costs? Right? So this is something you need to ask so that you know if there are other out-of-pocket costs in the event that your personal injury lawsuit is unsuccessful. Have you tried any personal injury cases similar to mine to juries before? This tells you about the experience, and it tells you about their track record, right? If they tell you that they've tried similar cases and have won 100% or have won 90%, then you know you are in good hands, right? How much time can you devote to my case? You're trying to make sure the lawyer is there for you, is not charging you, huge amount of, he or she's not billing you and not working, right? Because it's known in the industry that many lawyers take on too many cases at once and will sit on your case while they sign up additional clients, right? So you want to make sure that you're comfortable with the lawyer from the get-go in terms of availability. You can also ask them, how long do you think it takes to resolve a case like mine, right? You want to know how long. The thing is, many factors can influence how long it takes to resolve a case, but potential lawyers should be able to give you a rough estimate. All right. And the reason why you want to ask how long is because you want to make sure your attorney is committed to resolving your case as quickly as possible under the circumstance. Will my case go to trial? What is your success rate at trial? Right. So this is your case might go to trial. Who knows? Right. You want to be really cautious. If a lawyer tells you early on that your case is going to settle, you never know, right? The thing is, conceptually and intellectually, every personal injury lawyer should expect every case to go to trial and prepare as if the case will be tried before a jury, right? That way you can enter settlement negotiation with the defendant armed with as much evidence as possible. Another question you can ask is, what is my case worth? Right? Because here we're talking about money, right? You want to make sure that you have an idea of what your case is worth, right? At the very least, your lawyer should be able to provide a spectrum and explain how various factors such as discovery, liability, and pre-existing medical issues might impact the settlement offer or verdict, right? So do your homework, use your best judgment in evaluating a potential lawyer's claim. All right. Now, the thing is, some personal injury lawyers will give you estimates that are completely unrealistic. Don't want that. You want to stay away from that. All right. And so that's that. And you also want to ask the lawyer who will handle my case that I already mentioned that. And you kind of ask also, what is my role in the lawsuit, right? So because before hiring a personal injury lawyer, understand yourself, your role in the lawsuit, and what will be expected of you. Okay, some people want to be very involved in their case. They want to attend depositions and other meetings. Some they're not. So you want to make sure that your lawyer will allow this, because not every lawyer does, right? Many clients will want to let their lawyers handle the case and remain on the sidelines. Now, you want to make sure that you and your personal injury lawyer are on the same page about what your relationship will look like, right? Another question, and this is an important one also, is, and in my case, this is something I have found very helpful in my personal life. You want to ask the lawyer, Can I speak to a past client? Don't even hesitate to ask for references, right? Because the attorney will be able to provide you with contact information for at least one satisfied former customer. You should never rely on website copy or promotional materials alone. This may have been heavily edited. So what I'm trying to say here is that you want to be able to talk to someone who has gone through the same, who has worked with this lawyer in the past and can attest to his or her capacity. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweaty Kiwi. We're still having a conversation here about how to find the right personal injury lawyer. We're about to wrap up today's show, and just want to quickly wrap up what I've spoken about. Ask around for a referral. Discuss fees before signing. Always research lawyers online. Trust your gut. Get a real understanding of the attorney's training and experience. Ask who will handle your case. Questions. You have to know the questions to ask a personal injury lawyer. Now, I have a very nice sort of summary here that you can see on screen that sort of wraps up what we talked about when it comes to that. So you can see the first thing is you need to determine your criteria, make a list of attorneys, shortlist 3 to 5. You want to call the attorney's office, and you want to meet with lawyers and sign a contract. Right, so your criteria, while you are determining your criteria, the lawyer must be accessible. You can see it on the screen. We will put it on the screen. You have it. You can see on the screen right now. So lawyer must be accessible, licensed in my state, in good standing, experienced in my type of case. A list of attorneys. You want to ask people for referrals, do Google search, consult lawyers directories, contact state bars, contact local lawyers association. You want to shortlist 3 or 5. What are the criteria to shortlist those? Review their websites, read their bios, read reviews. I'm talking about client reviews. Double check with state bar association. When you call attorneys' offices, check the phone service. How, the tone of the secretary, how you were welcomed or how you were greeted. All those things, the non-verbal communication. Check the vibe during the call. That's what I meant. And you want to set a meeting if their experience meets your criteria and your case meets theirs. You only want to go with an attorney whose experience meets the kind of criteria you have and your case meets their experience or their criteria. And also you want to meet with lawyers and sign a contract. So you want to come prepared with interview questions and documents, sign a contract, and let your lawyer get to work for you. This is very important. Now, today's pro tip is this. You want to take some time to read through an attorney's website to get a sense of who they are before reaching out. And the thing here is that while doing that, this can allow you to steer clear of attorneys who lack a reputation for trying cases. They have poor client reviews. They appear to be guessing or flying by the seat of their, they appear to be guessing when asked about how to handle a case. They overpromise or claim a quick successful result when they don't have all the facts of the case yet. Or attorneys who do not have fee agreements in writing. So you want to steer clear of all those. All right, I will see you another time. Thanks so much for listening. And until then, remember, stay marvelous.